I'm working closely with President Trump and my colleagues on the Aging Committee to pass this legislation to make sure our seniors can live their best and happiest lives.
Senator Rick Scott gives Liz Ryan details of this new legislation.
Senator Scott is chairman of the U.S. Senate Special Committee on Aging, and they're tackling something so many suffer from, but you don't hear much about: senior loneliness.
It's called the Senior Act as we fight to better support our American seniors.
The senator explains what this legislation would do.
The Senior Act would direct the Secretary of Health and Human Services to prepare a report on the impacts of loneliness on seniors, propose solutions, and analyze the relationship between multi-generational family strength and loneliness in seniors. The legislation would provide much-needed practical solutions to reduce senior isolation, improve mental and physical health among aging Americans, which has yet to be addressed with any major legislation.
Policies like the Senior Act ensure that our aging population has access to community programs and resources that promote social connection and well-being. And with that comes a lot of benefits.
From better mental and physical health to stronger multi-generational relationships with families and communities. We're blessed. We have a wonderful senior population, and that's true in Florida and it's true across the country. Seniors contribute greatly when given opportunities to be active members in their communities.
If passed, this bill will recognize loneliness as a health concern. That will allow states to use federal funding to combat social isolation. Addressing the problem of senior loneliness can have other benefits too, like easing the burden on our healthcare system, since isolation is linked to all kinds of disease, like dementia, heart disease, stroke, and many other ailments. You can find some terrific resources at endsocialisolation.org. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Liz Ryan.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Thursday, February 20th.
We have what you would call paper capacity, and we are over capacity if you consider that paper capacity.
Last week's Free for All Friday focused on Palm Coast wastewater woes and how the city plans to address the issues.
Utility rate increases and bonds are the most likely way for the city to fund a project to increase capacity at Wastewater Treatment Facility 1 by roughly 4 million gallons per day, Chief of Staff Jason DiLorenzo.
It's not straightforward because the paper might include a subdivision of a couple hundred units, but they don't come on at one time, right? They come on one house at a time. So the number, if you count them in totality, would put us over capacity. But when they start actually flowing, then that reserved capacity or committed capacity falls off of that table because you're just dealing with that one house at that point, as they come on.
City Stormwater and Engineering Director Carl Cody says the capacity limitations paint a dire picture.
You can't wait till you collect all the money and then build the expansion. They need it beforehand. So you'd build up some dollars to help contribute towards those expansion plans, but then you're overbuilding for those future residents who will contribute towards the use of that.
Acting City Manager Laura Johnston says they've been calling for a rate increase for some time.
City staff actually brought forward the rate to look at, we need to expand here in 2022. And even that was controversial of doing the rate analysis in 2022. But it didn't come back to City Council until 2023. They didn't approve it in 2024, and here we are back in 2025. So we've been trying to do our part in managing the timing of growth and development.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Daryl Newton.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. In other news, 26-year-old Palm Coast man Jordan Pittman was arrested after an 8-month investigation into sexual battery of a minor. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
Parents, please talk to your children about the dangers of the internet, especially social media platforms, that they never really know who they are meeting. This individual even pursued the juvenile after he had been told that she was 14 years old when relatives of the juvenile found inappropriate text messages on her phone.
Pittman is charged with a first-degree felony. Elsewhere, the sheltering tree will be open tonight as temperatures are expected to drop below 40 degrees. The shelter is not only available for those experiencing homelessness, but also for anyone without adequate heating. And finally, the city of Flagler Beach is hiring lifeguards ages 16 and above. Swim testing dates are on March 29th, March 30th, April 5th, and April 6th. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.